Another thing, I just want to do another room real quick about the age of Aquarius, because I think, a lot of things that people don't really understand, especially they've made all this stuff about New Age, when they started doing that, I'm sure, the controllers knew what was coming. The New Age was coming, and, it's a big enough gap that nobody even thinks about it. And then they have to think about, like, well, what is my connection? You start finding out, I am a part of this planet. I am part of nature. I am in sync with it. I have a connection with it. And you start having such a different way of looking at the planet and the animals and everything. But when you can start or something, something else I was gonna say, so that kind of spaced me out. Oh yeah, so back to the age of Aquarius. So in the age of Aquarius, which they were even singing about, back in the 70s and stuff, and I didn't even realize it was it was an actual age that we would go through as an experience on this planet. I thought it was just a groovy song singing about, loving each other and stuff. But the age of Aquarius is really about abundance. It's releasing us from this enslavement. But that's why we are moving in to it, like we're going into it. I don't know whatever the exact dates and stuff, because there's been manipulation with calendars. Like, I didn't even know about all that stuff with, I don't know, Gregorian calendar. There's like several stuff, but they've got times and days that aren't all matching exactly, I don't think. So I don't know the exact date the age of Aquarius starts. It could be that we've already started it, but we had to start it to go into the transition. But no matter what it is, this part that we're going through right now isn't what it will actually be like once we get through this part. And that's something that, my kids have been hearing me say this stuff for years. Now it's just like, okay, hasn't happened. Like, that's the manipulation of time. Because something hasn't happened doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Just, you got to look at the signs. Like, so many people seem to have an understanding of the Bible, so they're looking at the signs and they're seeing that there's signs happening, that something big is happening. There's people who watch the planetary stuff. They know something's happening. There's people who watch the disclosure stuff. There's people who watch, the corruption stuff. Everybody can see that there's something happening. But as this is happening, it is the transition into the birth. Once we go into the birth of, this could very well be what it is, the birth. Like, if I was there at these other transitions in other lives or whatever, it's not like I can go in and remember and talk about it and say, oh, well, you start the new age, but you have to go through this many months or whatever. But this part right now, that's why it's based kind of on the collective and humanity of how quick that they move through the transition. That's why it was disappointing to figure out, like, oh man, if everybody's saying now it's going to go into this very dark, depressing, angry. I wanted it to be like sad, healing, depressing, but not the anger and, it's just more death and more destruction. But if everything has to burn down, like, I don't know. But this part that's so horrible, I would keep talking about the age of Aquarius. All this part that's so horrible, that is just the birthing process, the transition to go into it. The age of Aquarius is all about humanity just living free. We get to make our own decisions, and people don't even understand how controlled this reality has been. And the corporations have showed themselves. The corporations is the tentacles of the, whatever you want to call them, DS, the cabal, whatever you want to call them, that they are, corporations are their fingers in our lives. And, you know, it's their takeover. And, you know, Big Pharma is a part of it. Mainstream media is a part of it. The politicians, all bought and paid for. You know, all that stuff. And whatever it is that people, you know, need to see to help them transition out of that old, decayed, corrupt existence. But the new one's going to be completely different. A new one's, like my one daughter, she's studying for the LSATs, and she's going to be a lawyer, and she's starting school, and she's already a social worker, but she's going to go back to be a lawyer, which when I was caught up in the Matrix, and yeah, I was all for it. I mean, that's what, even when she would take the test, she should be a lawyer. And I would say, yeah, go be a lawyer, go, you know, and all that. Now I have a very different attitude, because even when I knew we were going to have the Age of Aquarius, I knew that there was some kind of switch with the event and stuff like that. I didn't even know it was going to be the age. Like, so many pieces went together for me in the clarity stuff over 2020. And I don't even remember, because of my brain injury, how many of the different pieces I knew at different times. It doesn't really matter now. It only matters what I know right now currently and how I see it currently to me. But that the Age of Aquarius part is, well, it's going to be so much better, but that it is all of the stuff that we've been going through for so long has all been for our lessons and stuff, but it's all been so, just so much corruption and greed and evilness and stuff. So that won't be in the other one. I talked about this before, because the event and this whole cosmic kind of thing that's happening, because, you know, there's like so much three-dimensional thinking with, you know, dimensions and stuff, and the spirits and the spirit world. It's just very three-dimensional kind of thinking. But when we move into this higher kind of mind thinking, I mean, people won't be corrupt. It won't be like, you know, well, I have to be able to be this way because everybody else will be this way. It's not going to be like that. It would be more like you would be embarrassed to be a dick because nobody else is going to be. So it's going to go completely, like the pendulum swung so far that way, it's going to swing back. You know, it'll be really great, but it will definitely at some point in time, there will be some kind of issues that will occur. There won't always just be roses and sunshine. Like, you're going to have to still deal with things and grow and stuff like that. It's just going to be less traumatic than what it is currently. But this transition is to just expose and to purge, to get all of this nasty stuff seen on the surface. And I just find it fascinating too, how this is all going, and the Three Gorges Dam's doing it in the physical at the same time it's happening. And then we also have earthquakes going, volcanoes, like the earth is just doing everything the same as the humans on an emotional level. It's just crazy. And, you know, all this stuff is all really happening. So, and like I said before, you know, that counter thing shows that more people and more people are waking up every week. It is not going the other way. We're not going back into, you know, letting, like, all of us who woke up to the control and what's going on, we're not going to just suddenly go, okay, we're going to submit and go back to that life. That life is done. It's over. Just because there's some people who haven't seen it and haven't woken up yet to the reality, once they do, they're going to want to leave it too. There's no way we're ever going back to that. And in the new reality, it is going to be us deciding, and I do see it as our natural instinct is to have smaller communities and be more like that tribal kind of mind of like, you know, what is best for us all. And smaller communities can do that. And we will have kids that will feel like their place in the world. They can go out and be safe. They don't have to sit here and be worried, you know, that they're going to go out and get taken, never see their family again. You know, they can't walk out their door. So they just sit in their house and play video games for their whole life and feel disconnected. And all the way that they can talk to other kids is on social media and stuff. It's so strange. I feel so fortunate to have gotten to grow up at a time where we interacted and we went out and we did adventures and we had fun and, you know, we got hurt and we had to protect ourselves sometimes. I can't even tell you how many cars that we've all been called over to give directions only to find some old friggin' guy in there manhandling his junk to show the little kids, you know, or whatever the guy's doing. All the time back in those days. But, you know, I still feel fortunate that I got to have, like, interactions and adventures and stuff like that. Like, these kids have all been cut off from it for a while. So that we're going to go back into that where people go out. There's going to be so much more self-discovery and discovery of the planet. That's what I think. You know, it can go, I mean, we're going to have a lot more higher tech technology. So, of course, we're going to be a lot further advanced. We're not going to go back and be cavemen just because we work together in smaller communities and that we get back to the thing of, you know, community celebrations and getting together and social events and music and dance and picnics and all of that stuff. Because that's what matters to us. We've all just been forced into this life of control and manipulation and work. Buy. It's all just a manufactured bullshit reality. So that's all. That's what's going to be gone. And it's just weird because you can try and say that stuff to some people and it's so much a part of their reality. They can't see the separation. They can't see that it's like, that is the world though. That's where we live. And I remember sinking into that, thinking, well, you know, this is the world. This is the life here. I've got to get with the program. I got to, you know, if I want to survive here, I got to get with the program and do what has to be done to survive here. And so many people are in that, but they can't, they've lost sight. They've lost connection. All the stuff with the fluoride, everything has all been part of the manipulation. So anyways, I got through 3 of these little mini ones and now she just came to the door. She's having such a hard time. Oh my God, with all the people here and all the dogs, and then she gets excited and she runs around. She can barely walk. I feel so bad for her. Okay, well, have a great day, and, you know, just do everything you can to work on you. Don't get triggered. Well, if you get triggered, don't fight. Take your trigger. Go be introspective. Think about it. Look at it. Go in deeper. Why? Why am I being triggered? Because each time you're triggered, it's a gift from your higher self, giving you an opportunity to heal an old wound. And it's no point of arguing with somebody and getting mad at somebody thinking the triggers, like they're just sitting in there reading your mind like, I know this will trigger them. Boom, boom, boom. That's not how life is. We are projecting what we think is coming from out there. We're projecting it. It's not coming from out there. It's coming from you. If you're being triggered, it's coming from in you. They aren't doing anything. So, you know, that's one place to start with, you know, just really figure out how to detach and think like, well, if you stop doing this, I wouldn't feel this way. No, you can't push everything away so you don't have to feel this way. You're feeling this way because you need to heal it. You need to heal it because you need to spend some time thinking about it. And usually it all comes back to loving yourself and accepting yourself, accepting also all sides of yourself. So, okay, Talk to you later. Have a great day.